Well, welcome back, my friends, to another rousing rendition of Choir Boys Cutlery Outdoors, an ALFA KNIVES AK2 rendition, if you will. Before we get into it too much, there was a time in this country where 22 veterans a day took their own lives. Now, stats show that number is going down, but vets, anything above zero is unacceptable. We back to blue over here with Sport Leo, to the chagrin of many. How do you do that, Scab? Well, we don't break the damn law, and when we do, we take responsibility for it. And finally, if you are an addict, never quit quitting. Okay, so here's the deal. ALFA KNIVES, ALFA, there goes Megatron, is a new company to me, all right? I've done zero research on it. My guy, JR, who has kept me in knives, who is a godsend for sure, sent me this. He said, brother, I've been checking out ALFA KNIVES, so I'm going to send you a couple, and then he bought a couple more. So we're going to test them all out. Now, let me say this up front. I don't give a damn who makes it. If JR sends me the knife, it's going to get tested. I feel like as good as he's been to the channel, I owe it to him to put these things through the test, the hardcore test, demonstration, whatever the hell you want to call it, and give him an honest answer. Yes, I do it for the video. Yes, I do it for the content. But the guy's been so good to me and to Joe and to others that I have to do the absolute best I can. So what I'm saying to you is this. If you're a knife designer, knife maker, knife whatever, and JR buys a knife from you, I hope it's right, my guy, because we're going to put it through the stuff. Now, let me give y'all a couple specs. First and foremost, fit and finish is gorgeous. Let me say that up front. The sheath, I tried to give you a good pick of that sheath with them skulls. Absolute gorgeous setup. The acid drip on the blade, the whole deal is just gorgeous. Sheath is out of this world. And a lot of times, y'all know I don't mention much about a sheath, but I tried to show you a good picture of it. You can see I'm wearing it there. Very comfortable, very, very comfortable and beautiful. The blade finish is acid etch. The blade length is just shy of 8 inches. It's about 7, right under 7 3/4. Cutting edge is about 7 inches. It is a drop point. Now, it's 8670 carbon steel, okay? Good carbon steel. It's got some nice deep fullers. The handle, which I really care about, is a little over 4 3/4 inches long, which fits really, really, really well. It's that G10. I drew a blank there, so it's got black liners. It's G10 handle material. Incredibly, incredibly comfortable in hand. You see those nice fullers there? It's got a good ricasso. Like I said, overall, and I love a damn drop point. I'm going to tell you, this knife absolutely surprised me in a pleasant way. I don't know why I didn't really have any preconceived thoughts on it, but it outperformed my expectations. Edge held up insanely well. And guys, this just goes to show again, I've got to upgrade my equipment a little bit because I'd love to show you some close-ups. I did the best I could with it, and I'm not making excuses. This knife is a gorgeous, gorgeous knife and held up insanely well. Now, right here we're doing the John Peter stab test. Stabbed well. I think we went through 4 pieces. And for everybody that's new here, let me say a couple things. One, we don't really do reviews or testing. We do demonstrations. Take it out of the box and let it whirl. A review to me is more like you carry it for a couple weeks, you use it long term, 6, 7 months, something like that. So what I do is I take the knife and I put it through a series of, and we'll call them tests, they're not that, it ain't scientific, and just see how the knife performs. Now, I've said it a million times, I'll say it again, this is a learning journey for me, so I would consider myself a novice at best, but I'm going to tell you something. I love this style of knife, and I want to say this too. I don't really, like, when I first take on a company, if this is my first knife from a company, and this is, I don't deep dive it. I don't want to. I want to do the knife. I want to put my hands on the knife. I want to test it for 4 or 5 hours. I want to see the thoughts that I come up with. First thought I had on this knife was simply this. To me, it reminded me of a combat knife. Now, I'm not a veteran, never served, none of that. But it's just kind of the look, the feel, the whole deal. But I'm going to tell you something. This is a badass knife. This is a fully functional knife. And again, if you're new here, when we talk, we don't really talk about combat, self-defense, that kind of thing a whole lot. Because really you shouldn't knife fight anybody and you can't just stab anybody. So what we do is we put it through as many different test as we can. Cutting mediums, we cut everything under the sun. This is a 2-inch ratchet strap, toe strap, and this knife cut this thing better, I think, than any knife I've had. Seriously, one pull all the way through. That, if I ended it there with the stab test and just cutting that ratchet strap, that's impressive enough. This knife cut, and it cut, and it cut, and it cut. We do some light chopping at the end. We do some pretty stout batoning though. And when I say stout batoning, what we did is we took a bunch of that old hardwood, fat wood that you could buy at any box store, but it's full of knots. And that's why I like to use it. And what are we doing? We're trying to see if the edge will chip, if it'll roll, if it holds in. So nothing on this knife. And the sharpness level of this knife really, really surprised me. From the tip all the way down to the ricasso, incredibly sharp. I was really impressed with the tip and the point. I love a drop point to begin with. Okay? But that area was super, super sharp. Now, as far as an overall size of knife, okay, this is about, I think it's 12 or 13 inches overall. It's very, very, very comparable to the standard K-bar fighting knife, and at the end, I'll put them side by side so you can get a good look, good view and see, but size-wise, it's pretty close to that. And I'm going to tell you, this is a full tang, solid full tang, beautiful black liners, that G10 green handle, super comfortable. We did the Donnie B All-day, throw it at the stump test. I did the stab to stump test. I do that a lot to test the tip, yeah, kind of. The edge, yeah, kind of. Definitely throw it for balance. But I do that stabbing of the stump and throw it at the stump to test the handles. Did they shake? Did they come loose? Did they do any of that? No. Solid build, solid construction. The steel, the stock on this is just shy. I'd say it's between 3/16 and a quarter, right in there. Couldn't get a good read, but that's what it looked like. So pretty good blade stop. The edge is really well done. I'm going to tell you, the edge bevels on this one were excellent. I've got another one that I'm going to have out probably Friday, more of a Norse sax looking, but I was overly impressed. Now again, right here, with that handle, no shock, no hot spots, none of that. And guys, that wood right there, you can see the knots in it, okay? And again, I've said this before too. Would I baton at camp? Well, if I needed to, but mostly I try to carry, and I went right through a knot, no edge damage. I was really impressed with that, very impressed with that. Now, at the end, just like we always do, we're going to cut paper again. I walk straight in and I cut the paper. So throughout this, I want y'all to see all this stuff that I cut, that I sliced, that I chopped. Hand didn't get tired, no cramps, no slippage. The construction was solid all the way through. Now, a lot of times, guys, I will send knives to DJ Horn after I've reviewed them, just kind of as a thank you, whatever. Guys, this knife held up so well. All it's going to take is wiping it down, some eagle tears. I'll strop it, but that's it. This edge held up as good as any knife I've ever tested. And again, right here, some of this stuff we're doing, you're saying, Scab, I tried to do as much of this as I could. Tried to do some chopping, tried to do some slamming, tried to do some different things to give you guys a good look. And what we did this time too, we're going to go out in the swamp. Now, this weekend, my grandson's going back to Alabama, so I'll be headed back over to Kirk's to finish up the outdoor studio. Today, I just kind of headed out in the swamp. I needed to take care of a couple things. And right here, I want to say this too. This is an actual lot where they're putting a house. Many of you know this because I've said it many, many times. This area is going away. It's on us now. So this was actually in like a roped off area. All this stuff's coming out. So to all my tree hugging friends, this is the only thing I cut down. And these started out as weeds, so you can take a deep breath, okay? This is the only thing we really cut. But I wanted to show y'all some of the chopping. Again, no shock in the handle, no hot spots. Very, very comfortable. Now watch the bites we get here. Deep, deep bites. Really, really good bite. There's times when you get a good chopper, it's not a great cutter. You get a great cutter, great slicer, not the best for chopping. This is a robust edge that I think fits a multitude of tasks, okay? would I use this knife? You're damn right I'd use it. To me, this is a hunting, fishing, camping, camp knife type situation. Yes, for the love of God, unless you're an idiot, you can defend yourself with it. It held up very well. I was really impressed with the overall build quality. I was impressed with the sharpness, not only out of the box, but at the end of the demonstration, right there, tried to get a little closer just so y'all could see, and just hacked away. It hits hard. And then, of course, we get some good slices going there. Really, really impressed. The maker, the owner of ALFA Knives, I know his name is Damon, and Damon, buddy, home run right here. I can't wait to deep dive a little more. Very impressed. This is my favorite demonstration that we do, where we just hold a log, hold a stick, and simply chop. We check control, shock of the handle, and again, and we're always looking for that edge, if there's any rolling, any chipping. And let me say this, with hard use, with any kind of use, if it did get a little roll, if it did get, I don't care. You maintain your stuff and you get it out. But I'm telling y'all, it didn't. And the reason I say that is this: in life, in this knife game, you're gonna have blades that chip a little bit. You're gonna have blades that roll a little bit. You're gonna have blades that do things. As long as it's not catastrophic, to me, it's fine. Now, I said that because I want you to know where my mentality's at with these knives. When we're testing them, demoing them, doing what we're supposed to do, I gotta learn to speak, son. It just, to me, you go hard, you do tasks that you might do every day at a camp, in an industrial setting, things like that. A lot of this stuff, I use a knife every day. That ratchet strap, cut ratchet straps, do all that. Now, we're going to go to our hose, this high pressure air hose. Now guys, this is after all the mediums we've already cut, okay? We go to the high pressure hose, we go to some water hose, we cut some denim. After the chopping, after the batoning, after everything is said and done, the knife holds up well. There was a little tug there, but let me just say this. From time to time, you get a tug. That's not because it's not sharp. With a longer blade like that, sometimes it's just not the best. You know, it's not going to be quick, fast, and in a hurry. I can tell you this. The control, the balance on this knife is exceptional. Very, very well balanced. Balance point seems to be just above the handle right there at the ricasso. Really nice in hand. Really a good feeling knife. I enjoyed the hell out of demonstrating it. Again, this is a knife I could turn right back around, do another video with it, and you'd never know that it had been used. So excellent knife. This one came from Old Town, I believe, Old Town Cutlery. I believe that's where JR got it. Just a badass blade. All right, guys. Well, look, real quick, we got less than a minute. Donnie B All-day is over 9,000. He's going to 10,000. When he gets there, son, there's going to be giveaways galore. Go sign up. Go subscribe to Donnie B All-day. Joe, Blade Talk. Joe, Steel Forged and Fire, Sword and Knife. My partner on Blade Talk. Go subscribe to both of those channels. I will put links in the description. And I want to shout out Knife Delights again. Tom from Knife Delights is an awesome guy. He gave me a great shout out this morning. My brother, I appreciate you and thank you. Well, guys, look, about 15 seconds. There's some comparisons. Now, that's the sacks we're doing next. I love y'all. God knows I do. God bless y'all. I hope he does. I'm Scab. You're not. And I'm gone, son.